Remedy number 1. There are some things you can see with your eyes that your brain will still refuse to accept. That was me that afternoon. Because even now, part of me still wishes I never touched that phone. I am a 36-year-old married man from Takoradi, and until 3 weeks ago, I honestly believed my pastor was one of the onlyest men I had ever met. This is somebody I respected deeply, not just ordinary church respect. I admired him and trusted him. Meanwhile, this same man nearly destroyed my marriage. Or maybe my marriage was already destroyed and I just didn't know. My wife, let's call her Janet, and I have been married for 6 years, no children yet, which has already been stressful enough. And here, once marriage reaches some years without children, everybody suddenly becomes fertility experts. There is family pressure, church pressure, prayer pressure. Every week, somebody had advice. Try this prayer camp. See this doctor. Maybe somebody is spiritually blocking you. It became exhausting. That was actually how we became very close to Pastor Samuel. He was popular in our area for deep spiritual direction. People claimed miracles happened in his church constantly. Barrenness, financial problems, marriage restoration, everything. And honestly, when you are desperate for answers, you become vulnerable. So we joined the church seriously. Everything was great at first. Pastor Samuel was charismatic and respected, very spiritual sounding. My wife especially admired him deeply, sometimes even more than me. She would say things like, "That man of God is powerful." And I agreed. Looking back now, maybe there were signs I ignored. Because after some months, Pastor Samuel started becoming unusually close to Janet. They had frequent private counseling sessions, late night prayers, special fasting instructions. Sometimes he would call her directly instead of speaking through both of us together. I questioned it once more, but Janet got defensive immediately. She said, men of God deal with spiritual matters differently. So I let it go because I trusted both of them completely. Then one Sunday after service, Pastor Samuel asked me for a favor. He wanted me to withdraw mobile money for him because he was busy counseling somebody. His own Momo agents nearby apparently knew me already, so he just handed me his phone casually. If only I had minded my business. The transaction delayed small because network was low. So I was sitting there bored with his phone in my hand. And honestly, I don't even know why I opened his gallery. Maybe curiosity, maybe instinct, maybe God himself wanted me to see something. Hey, the first picture I saw nearly made my heart stop. My wife, Janet, completely naked. I froze immediately. I thought maybe my eyes were deceiving me. I even opened the picture fully to confirm. It was her. No mistake. My hands started shaking instantly. And before my brain could even recover, I kept scrolling. Another woman from church. Then another one. Then another one. About 7 women all together. Hey, Pastor. Different pictures, different poses. Some looked like selfies clearly sent privately. Others looked specifically taken for somebody. At that point, my whole body became cold because suddenly all the respect I had for this man collapsed inside me immediately. And the worst part, my wife had the most pictures. I thought I was going to faint there. My chest started hurting me physically. And the scary thing was, some of the pictures didn't even look recent, which means this thing had possibly been going on for a long time. I deleted all my wife's pictures and quickly locked the phone before anybody noticed my face. From that moment, church ended for me mentally. I couldn't even hear the closing prayer properly. When we got home, I confronted Janet immediately, and she denied everything. Then when I mentioned the gallery specifically, she became pale instantly. The explanation she gave me, till today, I still don't know whether to laugh, cry, or scream. She claimed Pastor Samuel requested the pictures for special spiritual prayers. What? According to her, he said there were spiritual attacks affecting her womb and he needed full body revelation prayers. Full body revelation prayers for where? Do you need naked pictures? What nonsense. And the painful thing is, Janet genuinely looked ashamed and confused while explaining. Not arrogant or defensive, almost brainwashed. She kept insisting nothing physical happened between them. That Pastor Samuel said God directed him spiritually. I asked her whether she was even hearing herself properly, but she started crying immediately. Then she swore on her mother's life that nothing sexual happened. Honestly, I don't know what to believe anymore because yes, the explanation sounded ridiculous, but at the same time, I know how deeply some people trust pastors in Ghana, especially women desperate for children, healing or solutions. And the thing disturbing me most was this. Why were there 7 women's pictures there? What exactly was this pastor doing? Hey, the next day, I confronted Pastor Samuel directly. If Pastor Samuel had acted guilty that day, maybe this whole thing would have been easier for me mentally. But the confidence of this man, that is what confused me even more. I went to see him alone at the church office the next morning. Honestly, I was angry enough to fight him physically. But at the same time, this was still somebody I had respected spiritually for years. So part of me still hoped there was some explanation that would make sense. Even though deep down, I already knew something was terribly wrong. The moment I entered his office, he looked at me calmly and asked, I know you deleted the pictures. You saw them. Hey, with no fear, oh, no shame, nothing. It was just calm. That alone disturbed me badly. I asked him directly, why does my wife's naked pictures exist on your phone? And this man looked at me in the eye and said, it was for spiritual work. Spiritual work. I nearly lost my temper immediately, but he continued talking calmly, like somebody explaining Bible verses. According to him, certain spiritual attacks require deep prophetic directions. He claimed God sometimes reveals hidden spiritual problems connected to the body. Then he started mentioning things like barrenness, marine spirits, womb attacks. Hey, if you heard the confidence this man spoke with, you would understand why some people believe pastors blindly. Because honestly, even me, for one small second, I almost doubted my own anger. That is how manipulative it sounded. Then I asked him, so all 7 women in your phone are also receiving spiritual help? Silence. That was the first time his face changed small, but only briefly. Then he said something that made my stomach turn completely. He said, you must be careful not to fight what you don't understand spiritually. At that moment, I realized this man truly believed he could control people through fear. Because immediately he started speaking spiritually, part of me became scared automatically. But another part of me was furious. Because whether spiritual or not, why should a married woman send naked pictures to another man secretly? Why should a pastor even request such things? Nothing about it felt pure. I left that office more confused than before. Then things became worse at home because Janet kept begging me not to leave her, crying constantly, praying constantly, apologizing constantly, but still insisting nothing physical happened. According to her, Pastor Samuel convinced her the prayers were confidential because people wouldn't understand spiritual things. But still, even if she was manipulated, does that erase the betrayal? That is where my mind is stuck. Because every time I look at Janet now, I remember those pictures sitting in another man's phone. A pastor for that matter. Church itself has become impossible for me now. I stopped attending completely. Janet has stopped attending too. Some members have already started asking questions. Meanwhile, Pastor Samuel is still preaching normally every Sunday, like nothing happened. If I expose him publicly, the church people will probably attack me instead. Right now, I am emotionally exhausted. So now, I am sitting here confused regarding my wife. I genuinely don't know what to do anymore. Would I be wrong if I leave her? Babe, what you are feeling is valid. You are not wrong for feeling hurt or betrayed. What happened was completely inappropriate. What is wrong with some of these pastors? Now, babe, before ending your marriage, think about everything carefully. Take your time and separate the manipulation from intentional cheating. Those are two different things. Your wife should have told you, but she didn't. That has definitely broken your trust. But babe, from everything you described, she also sounds deeply manipulated and emotionally vulnerable. Maybe because of the pressure to have children. I think your wife believed in this man, and she was so desperate to the extent that she thought sending a nude pictures to him will help her have children. I think the real problem here is the pastor, not your wife. Babe, right now you are angry, so don't make a permanent decision now. I think if your wife is truly remorseful and she wants to rebuild the trust she has broken, healing may still be possible for both of you. This thing you are going through is not small. It is not a small thing. I know trust will take time to rebuild, but babe, don't just rush into leaving this woman. Take your time. But personally, I think she was vulnerable, and this man took advantage of her. See, pastors are still men, oh. Don't just be listening to them blindly. Think for yourself. Pray for yourself. I hope everything works out for you in the end, and I'm wishing you all the best. Hey, Now let us know what you think down below. What do you think is happening here? Do you think this man should leave his wife? Leave your thoughts down below. You will be in the comment section reading your comments. Welcome to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing great. If you are new here, please subscribe and like this video. Come and join the family. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Now let's move on to story number 2. I have been married for just 1 year. And right now, I am seriously considering leaving my husband because of his murder. Not ordinary misunderstanding, oh. I genuinely believe that woman tried to poison me. The painful thing is, nobody believes me, especially my husband. Or maybe he believes me small, but he's too afraid to admit it. Let's call my husband Daniel. We met in Accra through mutual friends and dated for 3 years before marriage. Honestly, our relationship was beautiful in the beginning. Daniel was caring, patient, and hardworking. The only real problem from the start was his mother. Let's call her Madam Grace. Hey, that woman never liked me, and she never even tried to hide it properly. From the first day I met her, I could already feel the coldness. You know those older Ghanaian women who insult you politely with smiles? That was her specialty. Oh, so this is the girl. She's very quiet. Daniel, are you sure she can manage marriage? Things like that. At first, I ignored it because honestly, mother-in-law tension is common. But later, I realized the issue wasn't just me personally. It was where I came from. My family is from a different tribe from theirs, and apparently, that was a serious problem for her. She used to make comments like, our sons should marry from home, or different tribes bring different spirits. Hey, at first, Daniel defended me small, but over time, he started doing what many Ghanaian men do when caught between wife and mother, remaining neutral, which usually means the mother keeps misbehaving freely. Still, I tolerated everything because I loved him. Even during wedding preparations, Madam Grace stressed me badly, complaining about food, complaining about traditions, complaining about my family. At one point, she even suggested Daniel postpone the wedding completely. But we still got married eventually. And honestly, after marriage, things became even worse. She started visiting unexpectedly, constantly, criticizing my cooking, my housekeeping, even my clothes. One day, she actually told me directly, I still don't think you are right for my son. Imagine hearing that inside your own marital home. But the thing that hurt me most was Daniel's silence. He always wanted peace, always saying, that is just how my mother is, or please ignore her. Meanwhile, I was suffering emotionally. Then 6 months ago, I got pregnant. Hey, I thought maybe finally things would improve. Instead, Madam Grace became strangely over-involved, suddenly bringing herbs, special drinks, traditional remedies, insisting she knew what was best for pregnancy. Honestly, some of the things scared me small, but because I wanted to respect her, I tried not to offend her. Then the incident happened. That day still replays in my head constantly. Madam Grace came over one afternoon with homemade soup and some herbal mixture. She said it was specifically for pregnant women. At first, I didn't even want to drink it because honestly, I never trusted her fully. But Daniel encouraged me. He said, my mother is only trying to help. So I drank it too. Not even long after, my stomach started turning violently. At first, I thought maybe normal pregnancy reaction, but within minutes, the pain became unbearable. I was sweating, vomiting, dizziness. I collapsed in the bathroom. The next thing I remember was hospital lights. According to Daniel, I became almost unconscious on the way there. Doctors treated me immediately, and thankfully, both me and the baby survived. But what disturbed me was something one nurse said quietly later. She asked me, did you take anything unusual before they started? Immediately, my mind went to the herbal drink. When I mentioned it, the nurse's expression changed small. She didn't accuse anybody directly, but she looked concerned. That was enough to terrify me. When I confronted Madam Grace later, she immediately started crying dramatically, saying it was a mistake, that maybe one herb spoiled accidentally, that she would never intentionally hurt her grandchild. And of course, everybody believed her immediately because she's an elder, because she's a mother, because she's a crying older woman. Meanwhile, I am the one who nearly died. The thing that shattered me completely was Daniel's reaction. Instead of anger, he defended her. He said, my mother may dislike you sometimes, but she would never poison you intentionally. Hey, that sentence broke something inside me. Because how can I feel safe in a marriage where even attempted poisoning becomes something people want me to overlook? And since then, my fear around Madame Grace has become uncontrollable. I don't eat anything she brings anymore. I avoid being alone with her completely. Even family gatherings give me anxiety now. But recently, something happened that finally pushed me to my limits because I overheard Madame Grace saying something to one relative that made my blood run cold. And after hearing that conversation, I don't know how to feel because suddenly all the doubts I had been fighting disappeared and fear entered me fully. That day, we had gone for some family gathering at Daniel's uncle's house. Honestly, I didn't even want to attend, but Daniel begged me repeatedly. He said the family was already talking too much about tension between me and his mother. So against my instincts, I agreed. The whole time there, Madame Grace was acting strangely nice. Too nice, if you ask me. Smiling too much, offering me food repeatedly, asking about the pregnancy, even touching my stomach gently in front of people. Meanwhile, my body was tense the entire time because after the hospital incident, I simply could not trust her again. At one point, I went inside to use the washroom. As I was returning, I passed near one back room where some aunties were talking quietly. That was when I heard Madame Grace's voice, and what she said, I still hear it in my head sometimes. She said, I was trying to help my son avoid future suffering. Hey! Immediately, my heart started beating fast. Then another woman asked, but what if something serious had happened? And Madame Grace replied, some women are not meant for certain families. I froze completely because tell me honestly, what am I supposed to think after hearing that? Maybe another person would dismiss it. But after everything that had already happened, no. My spirit rejected it immediately. I quietly walked away before they saw me. But from that moment, I knew I could never feel safe around that woman again. Never. The scary thing is, when I later confronted Daniel about the conversation, he still tried defending her. Oh, Daniel. He said maybe I misunderstood. Misunderstood. How many times am I supposed to misunderstand before somebody takes me seriously? I almost died because even if Madam Grace truly did not intentionally poison me, the trust I have for her is completely gone. And once fear enters your body like that, everything changes. Nowadays, whenever she visits, I become anxious immediately. If she enters my kitchen, I feel uncomfortable. If she offers me food, I panic internally. Even during church service one day, she tried touching my shoulder affectionately, and my body literally moved away automatically. The painful part is, I still love my husband very much. Daniel is not a bad man, but I am angry at him now because instead of protecting me fully, he keeps trying to protect everybody's feelings equally. His mother's feelings, family peace, public image, everything except my emotional safety. And honestly, pregnancy has already made me more vulnerable emotionally. Sometimes I cry alone at night thinking, what if next time I don't survive? Because if somebody can dislike you deeply enough once, how do you know they won't do something worse later? Recently, I even started thinking maybe divorce is better than constantly living in fear around my own husband's family, especially now that a child is involved. Because what kind of future is this? Daniel is begging me not to leave. He's even crying, promising we can move far from his family, promising boundaries, promising protection. But honestly, I don't know if love alone is enough once fear enters your heart this deeply. So now I'm stuck. Do I leave this marriage completely before something worse happens? Or do I stay and try rebuilding trust, even though my instincts are screaming at me to run? Babe, this is serious, oh. Hey, now, babe, I don't know if your mother-in-law tried to poison you intentionally or not. But the fact that you no longer feel safe or protected in that environment, you will never be okay there. Now, babe, right now you are pregnant. Your body is already going through a lot. And because of everything happening, you are also emotionally drained. Before jumping straight into divorce, I want you to focus on your safety and peace of mind first. If your husband really wants you to stay with him, he needs to stop trying to keep the peace. He has to start setting strong boundaries with his mother. No more herbal mixtures, no more surprise visits. If you don't want her there, she shouldn't come there. Your health and pregnancy should come first. If your husband is truly serious about protecting you, then if he says he wants the two of you to move far away, move far away. But babe, if he doesn't do anything about this, and he continues dismissing your fears and defending everything, then leave. Go to your mother's place. Just go to a safe place for the meantime. Listen to your instincts, babe. Right now, if you feel you are not safe at home and your husband is not protecting you, go to your parents' house. Go somewhere else. Concentrate on you and your baby for now. Don't make any permanent decisions. Right now, just take care of yourself. Focus on protecting yourself and your child. If nothing changes later, you can divorce him and move on. For the meantime, babe, put yourself first. And I'm wishing you all the best. Let us know what you think down below. Do you think she should leave this man? Leave your thoughts down below. She'll be in the comment section reading your comments. And now let's move on to story number 3. There are some apologies that can actually make you angrier instead of calming you down. That was me sitting on the bed holding my husband's phone while this man stood there explaining adultery to me like he deserved an award for sacrifice. Till today, I still don't know whether to cry, scream, or laugh at the madness of it all. I am 28 years old, married for 4 years, and we just had our first baby 3 months ago. Things have been hard financially, very hard. My husband, let's call him David, lost his main job last year and has been surviving on small contracts and delivery work. Meanwhile, I had to stop working temporarily after giving birth. So honestly, we have been struggling badly. Rent alone has nearly broken us several times. There were months we survived purely by prayer and borrowed money. That is why when our landlady suddenly became unusually patient about rent delays, I actually felt grateful. Little did I know something more was happening. Our landlady, let's call her Auntie Vivian, is in her late 40s. She's divorced, very flashy woman, always wearing heavy perfume and tight dresses around the house. Honestly, I never liked the way she behaved around married men in the compound. She's too playful and too familiar with them. But I never imagined my own husband would become part of her nonsense. Never. Looking back now, there were signs. Sometimes she would call David directly instead of speaking to both of us. Other times, she would suddenly reduce pressure about rent after private conversations with him. One time, she even brought food specifically for him and not me. Hey, but because my mind was focused on the baby and survival, I ignored many things. Also, who wants to believe their husband is sleeping with the landlady? It sounds like one bad Nigerian movie. Then last week, everything exploded. David had gone to bath and left his phone charging beside me. Honestly, I wasn't even planning to check anything. But one message notification popped up on the screen, and what I saw immediately made my chest tighten. It was from Auntie Vivian. She wrote, "Next time, don't rush and leave immediately." At first, my mind refused to understand. I opened the chat and hey, I swear, my whole body became cold instantly. The messages were disgusting, flirting, meeting arrangements, sexual jokes, and the painful parts. This thing had apparently been going on for months. Months, oh, while I was pregnant, while I was carrying a child, while I was struggling with swollen feet and hospital visits. This man was sleeping with our landlady. I kept scrolling in disbelief. Then I saw messages about rent. That was when the full madness became clear. Apparently, Auntie Vivian had been forgiving part of our rent because of their relationship. I think that was the exact moment my heart broke properly. Because suddenly, every moment of kindness from that woman became dirty in my mind. When David came out of the bathroom and saw me holding the phone, his face changed immediately. At first, he denied small. Then, when he realized I had already seen everything, he started begging instantly. He was crying and kneeling, sweating, the usual. But the explanation he gave me, that explanation nearly made me slap him. This man looked me in the eye and said, "I did it for us." For us. Hey, I actually thought I misheard him, but no. According to David, he was trying to protect the family. He said things became so financially bad that when Auntie Vivian started showing interest in him, he used the opportunity so we wouldn't be evicted. Imagine cheating and presenting it like community service. I asked him whether he was mentally okay, but he kept insisting he sacrificed himself for the family. He even said, "If I didn't do it, where would you and the baby stay?" At that point, I was shaking from anger because instead of genuine remorse, this man somehow expected appreciation, as if sleeping with another woman while your wife is home breastfeeding is an heroic act. And the thing that hurts me most, he admitted it continued even after our rent balance reduced, meaning at some point it stopped being survival and became enjoyment. But now he keeps saying it meant nothing emotionally, that it was purely transactional. Hey, men can say rubbish with confidence. So then came the real manipulation because after apologizing, David suddenly changed tone and said, "Just know if we get evicted now, it won't be my fault." Oh, David. That statement entered my spirit badly because suddenly I realized this man wanted me trapped by fear. Fear of homelessness, fear for my baby, fear of starting over. And honestly, that fear is working because despite how angry I am scared too. And the most painful thing about betrayal is when the person who hurts you starts behaving like you are the difficult one for reacting. That is what David has been doing ever since I found out. One minute he's apologizing, next minute emotionally blackmailing me. Right now, postpartum emotions are already enough by themselves. Now add betrayal on top. I feel like I am losing my mind slowly. After the confrontation, I stopped speaking to him properly for 2 days. I just focused on my baby, feeding, bathing him, trying not to cry constantly. Meanwhile, David kept following me around the house, begging, saying it was a mistake, saying he loves only me, saying men sometimes make desperate decisions under pressure. But the thing is, this wasn't one mistake. It was months of lies. Months. Do you know how painful it feels? Realizing your husband was touching another woman while coming home to hold your newborn baby. I cannot even explain the disgust properly. Right now, the financial situation is what has trapped me mentally. Because David is not completely lying about one thing. We genuinely cannot afford sudden eviction right now. The economy is hard already. And finding a new place with a newborn baby is not easy at all, especially with our finances. That is why part of me feels stuck. Because every time I become determined to leave, reality enters my head immediately. Where will I go? How will I manage alone with a baby? Can I even trust family members enough to help without judging me? Then another part of me becomes angry all over again. Because why should fear force me to stay with somebody who betrayed me like this? And honestly, David's attitude is making forgiveness even harder. Because deep down, I feel like he still thinks what he did was understandable. Wrong, maybe, but understandable. That annoys me badly. Recently, we argued again, and this man actually said, at least I was suffering for the family, not because I loved her. Hey, I nearly lost my mind, as if that is supposed to comfort me. So now I'm apparently expected to be grateful my husband cheated strategically instead of romantically. Wonderful. Then last night, things became even more uncomfortable. I overheard Auntie Vivian talking to him outside, not even secretly, casually, like they still have some connection. When David entered the room later and I confronted him, he swore everything had ended. But how do I even trust anything from him again? That trust is completely gone. But despite all this anger, I am still scared of making the wrong decision emotionally. Because what if leaving immediately destroys my child's stability? What if I regret ending my marriage during such a difficult period? But at the same time, what if staying teaches David that betrayal is acceptable as long as there's financial pressure? Honestly, right now, I'm exhausted, emotionally exhausted, and I don't know what to do. Should I leave this marriage before it completely destroys my self-respect? Oh, babe, I am so sorry for what you are going through. What your husband did was a huge betrayal, no matter how he tries to explain it. Financial struggle is hard. I understand that. Right now, the world is hard. But cheating and hiding it for months is still a choice. He's just using the rent as an excuse. He wanted to sleep with this woman. But babe, since right now, you don't have many options, don't rush into making any decisions yet. You are going through a lot. You are emotionally exhausted. You just give birth. Right now, focus on stability for you and your baby. Forget that man. For the meantime, forget him. And your husband needs to stop justifying his actions and take full responsibility. From the way you describe this, it looks like he's not even taking accountability. Now, babe, as you decide on what to do next, start thinking of ways to become financially stable. With the way things are going, you cannot continue depending on this man for everything. So right now, babe, take care of yourself, take care of the baby. And as you are deciding on what to do, think of ways to get money. Even if you can get it from him, think of ways to get money for yourself. So that when you are ready to leave, if it doesn't change or you feel like I am no longer okay with this man, you can leave and start everything afresh on your own. I'm wishing you all the best. You've got this. Now, let us know what you think down below. What do you think you should do? Do you think you should leave this man? Leave your thoughts down below. And now, I bet you know that this is a judgment-free zone. We listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to her in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed yet, come and join the family. Please subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Okay, I'm done. Bye.